All right, good evening, afternoon, morning. Welcome, everybody, to the next podcast. I can't remember which number we're on, but...
6, 5?
6, 7, maybe? I can't remember. Anyway, it's the next podcast.
It's an arbitrary figure.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So thank you for joining us, guys. Unfortunately, DeathStar isn't able to join us today. He has prior engagements, which is sad face.
Yeah, it is sad face.
We tried to get some standards, but they're all busy as well, so last minute it was all right. So I promise you he'll be here next time, so don't worry, guys, if you miss him. We do.
That's the hype. Yeah,
indeed,
we do.
Indeed. So, it's been a while since our last podcast. I will apologise from all of us that we haven't done it, but things like Grave has been moving. He's been very busy with that, and we just haven't had the chance to do one. So apologies for the long which between them. We are back on track, and we'll be doing these every other week as well. So
well, indeed.
We'll be back to it. Don't worry. So, Grave, what have you been up to apart from the moving, obviously?
Oh, God. Yeah, basically, it's been sadly all move. I streamed today for the first time. Obviously being a massive nerd, I tethered my internet through my phone so I could deduce what was going on for the patch, manage to watch your streams and stuff like that. So I've managed to get a bit of a grip on it and played today. So that's all I've been doing involving Infinity Wars, and then trying to be doing a few things behind the scenes for the Infinite Network, and then obviously chatting to a few devs and stuff as well. That's pretty much been my Infinity Wars last 2 weeks. So it's been pretty much just like a makeshift way of trying to get anything done for the Infinite Network and for the game. So yeah, it's been all right.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, because obviously a lot has happened this past couple of weeks. A lot has happened.
It's mental.
We all went away at like the worst possible time to miss everything.
I honestly, I could have picked any 6-month gap, I think, and it would have been better, other than release weekends. Other than that, the last 6 months hasn't seen anything like this. So it's just, it's been mental for so many reasons. Wow.
Oh, I know. It's been crazy. So, just to recap on what's happened, we'll obviously go through all this stuff during the podcast. But obviously, Ohas's post, my rant, obviously made some waves and changed some stuff within IMO, which is great. And we've heard some very positive things about that and positive things going forward about that. But we'll talk about more about it later. Fuzzy had patch 0.98. Fantastic patch overall. Mm-hmm. The game almost feels like it's given the whole game a new lease of life, for definite. Overall, so basically what we're going to do today, we're going to go through pretty much what's being done in this patch. We're going to go over balance changes, talk a little bit about the meta. We're talking about what's happened last week, what's happened the previous weeks with the kind of the forums blowing up and stuff like that, because we would have done a podcast for that, but obviously we couldn't do it in the time.
I really wanted to do one as well, but I had so much to say on the matter that I didn't really want to say without saying it in my own words, rather, because over type it can be completely misconstrued, so I wanted to say it myself. So
so for the most part, that's that. So let's jump straight into it then. So Nightmare are focusing on bugs. That's all they're doing with their coders. They're just focusing on bugs, which is fantastic to hear. And with this patch, they fixed an absolute ton of them as well,
which is good, very good.
Oh yes, but there's quite a lot of changes. Like some of them unexpected, but some of them good, some of them okay. For the most part, it's good, honestly. Overall.
I will say one thing before we delve into the bugs. I think that it's important for anybody that hasn't been on either of our streams and doesn't actually know this anyway. There's a bit of misconception surrounding the idea that there's about 15, 16 members of Lightner staff working on Infinity Wars. There's apparently only 2 guys that work on bug fixes. So normally I'm very critical, like, oh my God, bugs. Oh my God, squash them now. What the F, Lightmare, what are you doing, kind of thing. But actually now finding that out, I give them a little bit more slack, and I think it's fair to pass that information on to other people. Not to excuse it by any means, and that's not me saying, Lightmare, just kick back and relax, man. Just do whatever, do your bug fixes, whatever. But it does, it's worth pointing out.
Oh yeah, I agree with you on that. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's start. Just go straight down the patch notes, shall we? So shiny things, shiny things. Everybody loves shiny things.
Who doesn't?
The new login screen is gorgeous. It looks awesome.
Very good. Are you going to show that to people?
No.
No. Okay. Sorry for teasing you all there. Yeah,
you just start to log into the game. It's free. Come on. Yeah. Everyone's seen it. So yeah, the new login screen is awesome. The new home screen as well, obviously with the Infinite Network in bright big letters on there.
Yes.
So it's very good to see the community actually getting some feedback, and not necessarily feedback, but more recognition. For what we're doing, and hopefully we see more of that in the future, because I think a lot of us in the community, including myself, Grave, other people who stream and do YouTube content for the game, I think a lot of them feel underappreciated.
Yeah.
the moment. But from what I've heard, because I had a chat with Elfie and David the other day, and it was overall a very, very, very positive chat with them. Which was great. Which was really great. The direction that they're going seems to be good, and they need to keep it up. And I'm hopeful that they will. So
very good to hear.
Indeed. So obviously, new in-game UI. I think that's probably the biggest thing they've added visual-wise.
Yes. Oh my god, very much.
Because obviously you've just kind of come in and played this like today because you've been away so long. So what are your first impressions?
Really good. I love it a lot. It's clean, it's crisp. There's a little bit more information than there was before, like the whole faction thing being above the name, being below the portrait rather. And they improved on one really it's such a minor thing, but actually it was one of the first, the most poignant things I picked up on, which was actually the card, when the animation and the heaviness and the weight when you lay a card down now, and it has that little like it's earthquakey kind of animation around it.
Yeah,
that really gives weight to playing a card. And actually, that seems arbitrary in the grand scheme of things, but it's not when you consider that IGN, one of the biggest gaming reviewing sites, has said that was one thing that they felt that this game really lacked, that Hearthstone really had, which is little bits of polish such as that. And they actually did give card weight as an example of that. So
I agree.
I think it's good. I think it's good that stuff like that happens. The other thing, oh my god, that red line. Oh, that red line is so good. Like, why the F didn't they do that before? Like, what were they thinking before? That's so much better. It's genius.
Oh, yeah, it is. Did you also know that you can right-click on character with an active ability and you don't have to open up the card and click activate anymore? No. I only found out a couple of days after the match as well, so I don't feel... But the thing is, I still like to do it the old school way.
You go the old school.
Because I'm still in that mindset, and I want to make triple sure that I've done it.
Dude, you're so old school. You're one of the old school purists. Like, yeah, I was in this before this patch, so...
No, so but the new UI is wonderful. The one thing I would say maybe about the UI is that some of the elements of like the trade post and stuff like that, they're still of the old UI.
Yes.
And it doesn't fit at all.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't feel as good.
Some of it needs to change to catch up to the new UI as
well.
To
be honest, I mean, I'm not a games designer, so I wouldn't even take my word on this properly. But you know the way the UI is out of game on the home screen. You know, like next to your friends list, they've got that cool like techie effect in the corners. They could just slam that at least for now, just as a quick job, just to make it look a little bit better, because it does look like the old UI. You're completely correct.
Yeah, it just looks really dated compared to everything new. But that's the only gripe I have about the new UI. For the most part, it's fantastic.
Another thing is that I have heard a couple of things about some battlefields, such as the Hydra, not quite looking as correct as it should do anymore because of these changes. Yeah, no, I know that.
Because I know the one I use, the DoD battlefield, is actually been improved.
Oh, really?
It looks a lot cleaner and it's a lot smarter. So
yeah, mine looks the same. It's pretty much fine. So
but they've actually improved it in this one, so that's good. No, but for the overall, the new UI looks fantastic. The information's in a better spot. It's just
everything is in a better spot. There's nothing to complain about. Honestly, I'm first to complain. I want to rant, but it's nothing to complain about. They've done really well on that. They should all pat themselves on the back for that one.
Agreed. Okay, next big thing. The new effects: Calamity, Oblivion, Yuan-Shi, Saculus. Which other ones are there? There's a few others, and I can't remember them. But just like, as you say, like when you're doing active abilities, there's this little like flicker, little spark that comes up. Or Yuan-Shi's ability is gorgeous, and like it's great. It just adds so much more, oomph to the game. It looks,
it does. Yeah,
it's given it a kind of a new lease of life. You kind of want to play these cards because the animation looks so cool.
Yeah. I had someone on stream that purposely tried to show me one today and just played that card, and I was just like gobsmacked. I was like, that's badass.
Oblivion and Calamity both look fantastic.
Really, really well done. Although my Simon Cowell face gets pushed off straight away.
Here we go.
How is it going to work? Apologies to Lightmail or to anybody if there's been a post about this that I haven't seen, but what are they doing going forward in regards to other spell effects? Because it seems like a lot of work to put in. Don't get me wrong, it will be well worth it to put all the spells to have these cool effects, right?
Yeah.
But the idea of only certain ones having it seems unusual.
Oh, I know what you mean, but I think that's just the limit in their resources and what they can do time-wise and everything. I'm sure.
I'm sure. Concept thing that they're just going to eventually have all of their cards doing
well,
that.
I kind of like it that there's some exclusive cards that have it, but no, I understand where you're coming from, because obviously you kind of want all cards to be even in regards to animation and stuff, because obviously, as we're saying, like if people want to play them because the animation is cool, then they're going to want to play other cards, so those cards are going to be slightly more valuable, actually.
Exactly.
It's only slightly, and it's only to some people. But,
yeah. I add higher value to Calamity instantly because of it. Not that it needed it, because it's one of the best epics in the game, but I add value to it anyway, straight away.
Of course, yeah. It's like the ability just looks fantastic. So
it's really good.
No, but I'm sure they want to add abilities like that to as many abilities as they can. I'm just sure it's probably a time constraint on their part.
Yeah, I would like to get some clarification on that, just out of interest, to see what their plans are.
Oh, of course.
Moving forward with that, I just want to know, because that'd be cool.
Oh, definitely.
I love some sweet zombie ones with zombies moving.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Of course you would.
Of course I would.
Yeah. So also the new deck builder. This is a huge deal.
Very big.
It's just from the deck builder alone, it's opened up so many possibilities of new decks. Just for the fact that you can bot dual purity and hybrid cards in command.
Yeah, it really has.
And it's awesome. Like like for people like me, you've no idea how much kind of that's opened up the meta and opened up the amount of viable decks.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic.
It's really, really good. I mean, I sat purposely, like thinking and kind of partially knowing in between that they might do something to this command zone changes, and I sat on my Defiant Hermit thinking, I can't wait for this card to come in, because there's so many of these kinds of cards now will get more play because of this change. Like Prass, one of my favorite arted cards in the entire game. Yeah, I've never even bloody played him because he was impossible to build right now. Something cool might happen to idea.
Well, exactly. Like Praz is a viable option in Commander.
Right.
Completely viable.
And I think that's great. I think it definitely has opened up the game so much more because of it. And it will do going forward in the creation of more dual purity cards going forward as well. It makes them more, I want to look at them a lot more now. So
it's just things like infested scavenger decks, hermit decks, as you say. There's a lot of infested Hulker decks running around, which are really good, actually.
Oh, really?
Which are very surprising. I'm running a triple... triple infested Hulker deck in command. It's really good.
Really?
It's really good. Like the infect is scary. It's just it's good. There's just simple things like being able to put the Overseer's Kali in command in a Flame Dawn deck.
Yeah.
Just basic things as that, because you want that Kali in command because it's the best Kali, because it's flying and it's more damage and it's just good. You want that in your command, and that's just something you can do, especially with Overseers as well. It's a very good Overseers commander. So it opens up so much. It opens up so much, and alongside the balance changes, which we'll get into later, it's opened up the game even more, I think.
Yes, I think very much so.
There are a lot more viable decks, even though the decks that were on top are still kind of on top.
Yeah,
it's brought the rest of the field up a little bit closer to them, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I completely agree with that. From what I'm hearing, though, the metas haven't sadly changed as much as I think we'd like to say, considering what we've just spoken about.
But it's a good step in the right. It's a very decent step because it's brought the rest of the decks that weren't viable and stuff like that up a little bit, at least a little bit closer to that stage, which is where they want it. But obviously, we'll get into balance and stuff later on once we get to more of the bugs and stuff.
Simon Cowface again. The deck builder itself, though, we haven't spoken about that. What do you think about that?
It's a little clunky at the moment. I agree.
I don't like it right now. I've got to be honest. I mean, bear in mind, this is from someone that's played for a day, so I had time to get used to it. It feels wrong. I haven't been able to pinpoint what that is yet, so I've got no clarification as to what I mean. But right now, it doesn't feel natural. No, I know what you mean. It feels really clunky, having to kind of drag it in, and then you can't just drag them in quickly. You have to drag it in and then find the card and then press the plus button to put stuff in. And it's too many clicks, isn't it, per card?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, actually, that's a good way of putting it. It's too many clicks per card. That's exactly the way of putting it. So hopefully that gets amended, because I like the idea and it layout and stuff. It's starting to get there. It's definitely more fully formed. It just needs that little bit of loving, I think, just to take it over the edge to make it perfect for release. I kind of agree. I'm just going to put a card here so people have something to look at. Just the Defiant Hermit. Just show you the Defiant Hermit, because...
Is it plat, please?
Yeah, of course. I've got three. I've got 3 plat ones.
That's right. You should trade some of those.
Also, someone over this card, someone actually pointed out that if you look at the bird, it's like throwing feathers at people. It's like, here's a feather, here's another feather.
I'm so looking this up right now.
Someone pointed out to me, and I can't unsee this. So everyone who's watching now is just going to see this. Look, it's like, here's a feather, here's another feather.
That's genius.
Anyway, moving on. What we were talking So no, yeah, it does feel a bit clunky, and I agree with that. And I think they just need to work on how you place cards in, because although sorting them as they are is good, because you can just cycle through cards really fast to find the cards, which is great.
That auto update, by the way, as you're typing is
Oh, it's fantastic. The searcher is just fantastic. Yes, it's really, really good. And the fact that the drop down menu of all the different types and stuff is decent as well. It just needs a more solid way of doing that, I think, to be able to drag them in.
Yes, very much so.
But for the most part, it's good. My DVD collection doesn't look as shiny anymore, which is sad. But
yeah,
it
looks neater. But this drop down thing, I think the drop down thing's okay. Yeah, I think I just need time to get used to it.
I think honestly, they need to remove the writing at the top, because it doesn't actually fit any of the cards' names at the top
so
at all.
Little that it's pointless, really, for most things. I'm looking at, like, deflect. Other than that, most of the other ones I'm looking at on the screen right now.
And it's like, they need to maybe just take that off completely, potentially.
Agreed.
But yeah, overall, it's good.
Yeah, it's definitely in the right direction. I like it.
Okay, on to terminology changes, because this is actually quite a big deal that a lot of people have not really looked at.
Yes.
The terminology changes to the battlefield. So before, I honestly, I always got confused what it was before, so it's good that they've done this. So now the battlefield is the assault and defense zones. The assault and defense zones, which makes complete sense.
Yes.
What was the other one? Playing character either from a command zone or hand is now referred to as deploying that card. So you deploy a card, you don't play it, which is good. The assault, defense, and support zones are now the deployed area, which makes a lot more sense.
Yeah,
because in command it's not deployed, but it's in play. So so the command zone includes in play. So the entire board is in play if you see a card, and the rest of it is the deployed area minus the command zone. Yeah,
makes so much more sense now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot clearer, and it makes it a lot, because it was really confusing before. Yeah. It was very confusing before, what was in play and what was not, and then they've gone and started to define the turns as well, because the come into play effects of Saculus and Luca and stuff, that's changed. So you can no longer preemptively block them with preemptive cards. Yeah, because they go first regardless of the. So the in play cards go first, and then the preemptive, and then ability cards. Yes. As before, it was like half of the in-play characters did it before and half of them did it after.
Yeah, it seemed arbitrary, didn't it? It was like gamble which one does it.
So they've just switched it all to one side, which is it's good. It's made some things a little, you can't counter some things. Yeah. Like if there's a Saculus in command or something like that, and you want to mess with it, you can't for the most part. But it just makes it more solid as a whole. I think.
Yeah, I think so as well.
So it's just giving a nice base to it, and obviously they can work off that as well. So that's good for that fact.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
So any more comments on those things?
No, I think they're fine. I think they're all self-explanatory. I think they're all positive changes. I've got no complaints about them. I think everything they've done is for the good of the game, so that's great.
Yeah. Obviously, bug fixes. A lot of stuff has been fixed. I haven't come across an endless turn yet.
No,
they might still be lurking.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't count your chickens yet,
but yeah, no, it's good. The chat visuals have been refixed, which is nice, because when you brought up the chat window when you were in game, it kind of just went
messed
squarely
up.
And yeah,
no idea why that was, but yeah.
So, but that's fixed, and daily rewards, you don't have to relog to get them and stuff like this.
I don't think I had that issue that often, but yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, it's just little things that make a huge difference in the
exactly. Yeah, they do.
Because at the end of the day, if someone comes into this game and has one of those bugs, even if it's just a small bug, they could go and leave.
Yeah, exactly. Completely.
So the more bugs that fix, the better.
Yes.
A lot of card bugs fix things like the name escapes me. Oh god, here we go.
Card bugs.
The XL card.
Give me a bit more than the XL card.
The XL random damage ones, isn't it? The XL random damage card.
Demon Wastes.
No. Oh god.
Oh no, that's the.
You know what? What am I like? It just exiles where we are. Right, come on. Where is it?
It will happen.
Spontaneous combustion. Jesus Christ.
Right, yeah, okay.
Come on, bloody hell.
Yeah.
Spontaneous combustion. That's sorted now for the most part. Some people have reported not working in some cases, but for the most part, it does work now. So.
And I see it all the time now.
Yeah, and it's only deployed characters, so it doesn't affect command zone now either.
Okay.
Which is a good thing, I think. So that working by itself has opened up one of my favourite decks that I've always wanted to make within Infinity Wars, and that's the mass AoE deck. I think you were playing it on your stream earlier.
Yeah.
The deck. But the thing is, it's an alternative morale that's not for Raw, which is fantastic.
Yes, that's true, actually. Yes.
So you've got things like Mad Monk, Spontaneous Combustion, Yuan-Shi's Wrath, and the Overseer's Champion of Ruin as well.
Yes.
Which do just considerable damage to everything, and it's just lay waste to everything. So that's a good thing.
There's another control that I'm annoyed by that's not for all now. That new one that has exiles D&D, and the one that has contain parallel rift and mills yourself rather.
I've not seen that one. I don't think.
That one's annoying. That one's really, really irritating.
Okay.
They need to sort that one. That one's bad.
I don't know. How does that one work then?
You use contain parallel rift and exile and DoD cards to just basically draw a load of cards, then sack your hand, keep drawing whilst controlling the board with them until eventually you can just deck them out really slowly.
Oh, okay.
It's really lame. It's so boring.
Oh no, I can imagine games like that being.
And it's also control-y, so you can win via control and morale as well. So.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's like that as well, but that deck's cool. I like it, and Spontaneous Combustion's a great card now. They've got that fixed as well.
It's good.
That's the thing. A couple of these cards that we didn't see in play before now might change the meta again, just because of bug fixing.
Exactly.
So it's good for them.
So like Bloodthirst as well. Doesn't heal for the amount on successive turns with no damage dealt. So
that seems really strong to me. When I was explained to me on stream earlier, I was like, what?
Yeah, because there was
effectively has 8 health. Like so for my bloodthirsty dead, the 2 resource thing. Yeah, that has 8 health technically. Then now.
Technically, yeah.
I mean, except to like spells, but I mean, combat wise, that's weird.
I think that's the way it's working now. Yeah. Because there was some really weird interactions with Dead Feaster.
Okay.
Because Dead Feaster just did some crazy stuff, really.
Okay.
Where is he? There he is. Dead Feaster. Yeah, he did some really weird stuff sometimes when defending. But I think that's primarily fixed now, which is kind of nice. What other changes have they patch changes have they done? Let me just read through these quickly. Just
desync stuff, improvements to desync stuff by reconnecting. That's great. That's really, really good.
They changed the way like Hidden by Clouds that works, bringing out cards.
Oh yeah,
brings it on different double draw and stuff like that. And play it with haste, like bring out a Scry and then instantly play it. It can't do that anymore, which is a good thing.
Yeah, very good.
And yeah, I think we should start talking about the balance changes because I think they're the huge thing. I think we'll go through each card individually because there's a lot to talk about on each.
Yes.
So, the Immortal Traveler can make any unlimited characters. That's fine, to be honest.
Yeah, whatever.
That's completely fine.
Redundant, almost.
Yeah. Apparently, you can make some Star Trek cards in ranked play.
What?
Apparently, but I think that's probably going to be patched in soon.
Okay, that's
yeah,
classic.
Yeah. But okay, Abiran's Banner. This changes. I like Abiran's Banner. It actually makes Abiran's Banner decks good. Like Redaria Banner decks that I used to play a lot actually. And I've been trying out a Devil of Despair Banner deck as well, which kind of works.
That's cool. That's interesting.
Because it works like Bloodthirst now, so that 5 health, you have to take over 5 health to take damage.
Yeah.
So
which is great with that. Wow.
It just makes it a lot stronger. It makes things a lot stronger. So Redaria Banner decks, I haven't really properly got into making one yet, but definitely going to improve it. So
that's cool.
It's a very nice change. Very, very nice change. Right. On to Dark Wish.
Yeah.
This change was sorely needed, I think.
Very much so. For a start, I had people telling me all the time, and I know who you are, you people. I know who you are. Every time they watch me on stream, they'd be like, Grave, why do you use Dark Wish for the 1616 flyer? And I'm like, it's incredible. They're like, no, never, ever, ever, Grave, use it for that reason. I'm like, what? It's like one of the best. It's like it's a 1616 flyer that has other options if I wanted to. That's what I always saw it as, personally speaking. That's just how I play. And now they've nerfed it, which is so needed. Just because, not only because it sits in Varroa, where, as we know from the patch notes and what they're planning on doing, is they're toning down the power levels of creatures. Because that was already 5 mana, 1616 flyer. It's strong already.
Yeah, when you look at other characters, like you look at what other flyers off the top of my head, Jubalia, 6 for 10/10. I know it's got untouchable and stuff like that, but
I'd rather this.
A 16/16 for 5 not flying is still above curve.
Yes,
with flying it makes it even more above curve. It's just it was just extremely potent for what it did. So bringing it down to a 10/10, which is what it's done, is. It's brought it down to the level of all the other options on the card.
Yes.
So now it is a wish that you could use any of these options.
Yes, I think I still think it's still a really strong card.
Oh, it is it's still very strong, but it's still toned it down a bit.
Yeah,
it's definitely it's dealable and manageable now.
I still think it's pretty much an auto-include in triple Varroa decks, though.
Oh, it is completely
in any time type triple of them as well.
Yeah, of course, because most triple Varroa decks now will be moving towards Oblivion. No, we'll get to that. They'll be moving towards Oblivion, so they will be playing Dark Wish and such like this. I think this is a good one to talk about because this next card is probably on a lot of people's minds as over nerf and things like this. So Demon Affairs now be changed to a 7/7 for 6.
Yes.
Down from a 10/10 for 5.
Yes.
Me personally, I think this should have been done a long time ago. And the fact that it hasn't, because Demon Affair has, ever since I started playing, has always been above curve. Like you have really strong cards like up here, and then you have Demon Affair has always been way at the top. Always. It's just so much value in one card.
I remember when I first started this game and I didn't really understand much about Infinity Wars. The one thing that still rings true in my head now is hearing people like Manchi at the time saying, this is one of the best rares that you will find in the game, point blank. And that's it. And it hasn't changed since then till now, since I started the game. So
it's literally been one of the most popular and most sought after rares in the game.
Quite rightfully so. There's no reason. But because not only it's already strong enough, let's just say for a Varroa deck, but then because it was so splashable as well, and it was a hefty creature with an incredible ability, there was no drawback. There was zero. Don't tell me its morale was a drawback, because that was not enough of a drawback.
Oh yeah, it still is a hefty morale cost.
Is it 12?
It's still 12. Yeah.
Yeah, that's still it's bad, but it's not so bad versus the trade-off that you get for the creature being incredible and the ability being incredible.
Yeah.
What do you think about it now, though?
I think it's still really powerful. I think people are really underestimating it. I've still seen people use it in decks and beat me with it. It still works. It still does the job. Because the thing is, it's always been a late game card, regardless of it. Because you want to push at least like 2 or 3 units back to be worthwhile, kind of really playing it for the most part. A lot of people were kind of using it on turn 6 to push one target back. You shouldn't really be using it then. You should be using it on like 7, 8, 9. Like those kind of turns, and that's
completely.
You play it out. It's still incredible. It's still a flyer. It is dealable. You can deal with it better earlier on. So having it in command is less of an incentive. So most people are going to put them still in the decks, but I still think they're pretty good. And it's splashable. It's splashable. Come on.
Yeah, it is splashable as well. The cost for 6 is its slight drawback. The change for it being a 7/7. Why it doesn't even affect the card. If anybody even mentions that, it's so
it just means that then it's not played in command as much.
Yeah, true. It is really it's in like banish range and stuff like that now. Yeah. So it's pretty good for that.
Banish range and the infested Hulker. Sorry,
sniping Hulker. Sniping Hulker. Yeah.
So that as well.
It's good. I still think it's a fine card. I don't think this is completely broken. That brings us on a roundabout point to this idea about balance changing in general with this card, on how it was implemented. What do you think about that? Do you think how do you see, I suppose this then falls into the category of how do you see balance changing in this game? Do you like instantaneous balance changes? Do you want them to inform you a month in advance and you could hopefully change them? Obviously, I know it's a bit different for you for QA, but imagine from the perspective of someone who's in QA.
No, I understand. I get where you're coming from. Like, the thing is, telling someone a month before that a card's going to be nerfed heavily is just pointless because it's going to be nerfed heavily regardless. So it's going to drop the value either way. It doesn't really matter. No. So telling them, whether you tell them a month before or you tell them on the day, it doesn't matter either way.
No.
And honestly, I still think it should be on the day when the patch goes live because that's when it's all released to the public. So
yes,
that factor doesn't really come into it. The fact that I think people are being very naive, and I think they're forgetting the fact that this is a card game, and it is a card game in the digital medium.
Yes.
Because if you think about Magic the Gathering, they can't alter their cards at all once they're out. Once they're printed, done. They can't alter them. They can only ban them in tournaments and stuff like that. With this, they don't. They can do whatever they like with them. So I think people need to remember, like, balance changes. Like, if this kind of big balance change happened in another kind of game, in a MOBA or something like that,
fine, everybody accepts it.
Everyone accepts it. Yeah, people will flame about it. They always will, because that's just how the internet works. But for the most part, it's fine. I think it's fine. They need to not do it all at once, though. I agree that they should do it in smaller chunks.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I think they've waited way too long to start nerfing this. Things like Saculus and Luca as well, which we'll get into later. Yeah, they're in a similar boat. Those things should have been dealt with a long time ago, and they haven't. And that's the point. I think that was trying. If they were dealt with earlier, then this whole we wouldn't be having this discussion that we're having right now. If they'd been dealt with earlier. Yeah, because as I said, Demon Defeat has been at the top of the curve for a long time. Not saying, but the thing is, like, with balance, obviously you've got to remember that. Yeah, you're going to have bad cards, and you're going to have good cards, and then you're going to have really good cards. Yeah. But then there's a point where there's these cards which are ridiculous that you need to tone down, and I think Demon of Fear has always been one of those.
Yeah, I think it's been really solid, and it's been easy to tone down for a long time. There's several points to raise on this one. Like, if you didn't change it, let's just theoretically say that they didn't change it and they left it as it is, right? You're stagnating the meta for a start. Or people are saying, I've heard this term about naturally evolving metas. Understand that completely. What problem does that present, though, to Infinity Wars right now in the state that everyone has been discussing? Stop effing releasing cards, gets bugs fixed first. That is priority. And you can't let the meta shift without new cards coming in, but you don't want new cards coming in because the game's still buggy. So Demon of Fear would stay like this for a longer period of time if that was the case. Also, because it's a digital medium, right? We do what Magic does. That would be weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
We ban the cards instead. Okay, well, its value will plummet anyway. That happens in Magic all the time. When like Snapcaster Mage gets banned, oh bang, oh this value's gone to nothing straight away. It will. I think, honestly, the way they're doing it now is fine. Especially, maybe post-release, we could have a different discussion. But also, we have to consider that tagline of beta. Beta is beta. Things are liable to change. Everybody knows what a beta is, truly.
Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of people forget what a beta is nowadays.
Exactly. People think a beta is practically released. And I understand that people will call it a game released but in title, but it's not. It is still under development. Clearly, we can see from what's been happening in the last couple of weeks that this game is still very much under development.
Of course, yeah.
I do understand that people will be moaning about the trade value of cards, but
the thing is, like, I understand people moaning about it, and it's a thing that's going to happen. People, I at the end of the day, people need to accept that because I think the way Lightmare should think about it, and the way the rest of us should think about it, yes, it's a card game, of course, first and foremost, but it's a card game in the digital medium, so it's a computer game.
Yes,
it's a PC game. That's in essence what it is. So the balance. You need to think about it in that way because they shouldn't be balanced. Although they should keep it as best they can, how they balance Magic, but they have the option to do what they've done here and go overall and revisit cards.
Yeah,
because I think they need to do that.
Yeah, to surmise it for me, I think at the end of the day, for me, it's a card game first.
Oh yeah, agreed.
Not something to just profiteer off or say that I'll get an erection over the amount of cards value that I've got. That comes secondary to me over the game.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd rather lose value on. I've got Demon Sphere. Hell, I've got 6 of them and traded high for them. I'd still rather lose those values on those individual cards and have the game balanced and these cards sorted than go, yeah, I'm raking it in from these Demons of Fear. They're still broken. The meta hasn't changed. Everything's boring. Or if they tell them a month in advance to go, yeah, they're nerfing them, they still plummet anyway, so what's the point? Yeah. Nothing. Yeah. I'm not really bothered by balance changing in the way they're doing it, especially now. Maybe post-release, we might have a bit more of a conversation, but...
No, I think the main issue with what they've done here is all the changes are good, don't get me wrong. All the changes are fantastic, and they're all in the right direction and what should have been done. But these changes like Saculus, Luca, Demon of Fear should have been changed a long time ago.
Yeah.
And
I don't know why
that's the main issue, I think.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And
I have with it. I have with it.
I agree with it, and I agree with you.
Okay, so yeah, there's Demon of Fear.
Let's say that after that's everybody, right?
I know. So the next one is Fleeting Footman, if I bring that up. God, this new search feature is so good. Fleeting Footman. A lot of people are iffy about this change, but I think it's great.
Weird.
Because obviously Fleeting Footman before was a 6-2.
Yeah.
6-5. That could infinitely defend.
Yes.
It didn't fit.
Flame Dawn.
It didn't fit with Flame Dawn at all. Like, I understand it gave Flame Dawn some staying power, which was great, and some more splashability, but it didn't really do much.
No,
it was more annoying to play against than anything else, really.
Yeah.
It was a stall tactic, and it works, but it just didn't fit with the flavor of Flame Dawn. The fact that it only does that in the assault zone now, I think it's great, and the fact they're bringing it down to 4 because it is very powerful. It means it's put it in lightning range, Yuan-Chi's range as well, so that's brought it down. But it's also increased its attack, so it's giving it more value damage wise.
Yeah,
and 8-4 for 2 with charge. Jesus, that's potent. That's really potent, and I think people are not seeing that.
Can be, but in conjunction with other things, because obviously most of the time I'm playing it at the minute, I'm just finding myself like it just bouncing back and doing nothing.
Obviously, you have to put stuff in front of obviously, but that's how you play the deck of some kind.
Yes,
but the thing is, you put this in defense, and it will actually kill something.
Yes,
because that's how I see Flame Dawn for the most part. They're very good at trading well.
Yeah.
They're very good at trading well because they've got high attack, low health, so they can trade well with other things for cheap. Because they've got lower health, so that's how I see it. This can trade a hell of a lot better when it's defending.
Yeah, I know this is the squeezing value, but it would for me, if it was a 7-5, I'd love it more.
Yeah,
I just would. There's less removal to get rid of it, and it's like Flame Dawn are already susceptible to stuff like Yuan-Chi's Wrath anyway, so just another card to add to that. I mean, it's still, don't get me wrong, I think it's quite good value. The drawback, that bounce back drawback annoys me, and I don't know whether I'm still going to play it consequently, but man, if it was a 7-5, I would love it way more. It's not a bad change, and I do understand both thematically and from a deck building perspective, the fact that it was infinitely blocking did feel weird, I'll grant you that. So it's I'm not sure one way or another on that card yet. I think it could be cool.
I think it's fine. I think it's kind of shifted it in a different direction, but I think it's done it was fine. I think it's fine where it is. If they brought it up to 5 health, that would make it even more value than already is, because you have to think about it. It's 2 cost for a charging 8-4.
Yeah, that's true. And obviously
that's pretty damn strong.
And I suppose it's not even that support zone if attack thing is not always even a drawback. Like I'm considering it.
No. Obviously, you always put it in the back, and then it's it's fine.
Exactly.
Because I was actually yesterday. I was actually trying out Triple Purity Flame Dawn again.
Yeah.
And I was surprised how well it's done. Actually, I was very surprised.
Were you rocking the Boldo deck, dude?
Yeah, I was rocking the Boldo deck, but I took Boldo out. But because I played him once and it didn't work.
So bad.
But anyway, yeah. So it's actually doing surprisingly well in this meta, I think.
Yeah,
I think it's going to continue to do so. So
yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Okay, so Coralic. You'll obviously like this change. This change is just needed.
Yeah.
The chaos that ensued if you were playing against a zombie faction and one side played a Coralic, the chaos that happened was just...
Yeah, I would know. It's so irritating.
Oh, I could imagine.
It's great. It's so good.
But yeah, there's not really much to say about that. It's a good change.
Yes,
Yeah. Landstead.
God,
Now,
there's a lot to say about this.
there's a lot to say about this. One thing I'll say, OP.
Yeah, I think it's gonna. Yeah, I think
it needs to be changed. It's redonkulous. Redonkulous.
I will start off before we go into balance on it. It's got a pretty effect.
Oh no, the deck effect is phenomenal. It's so cool.
Unreal.
That little face in the corner, love it.
It's just really well done. I really like it. I think it needs that, and it's perfect. Again, pat on the back to Lightmare for that one. They've done really well.
Yeah, indeed. But so yeah, now Landstead
they haven't done so well on the balance. What the fuck?
Yeah. No, because I understand they've changed Landstead completely, because I know from what Terminus has said and from what Lightmare has said, they want to kind of slowly move away from this token generation feel for some decks, which I can completely understand, because sometimes it's a bit... I know what you mean, but it's their decision at the end of the day, what they want to kind of, the direction when they go. I know what you mean.
Yeah. I mean,
I think they want to prevent stuff like Saculus happening again. I think that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I suppose. You don't want to choke off a playstyle, because it is quite a playstyle.
Oh no, of course it is. Yeah, completely. Yeah.
So I just worry that they take it too far.
But they've changed Landstead. I like the change, but it's ridiculously powerful at the moment. So it's pay 5, exhaust an artificial character you control. Target character's power and health become equal to exhausted character's power and health. You have a Mega Unit 03 in command, 02 in command, and you can make a cannon fodder turn 7, 32 for 5.
With very little way of stopping it as well, really. How do you stop that?
You can't kill it. It's very difficult to kill a Mega Unit 02 in command. It's almost impossible.
And then add the cannon fodder thing coming in as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You play a scouting mission, you have no idea which one it's going to put onto next turn. It's flying. It's flying 32 for 5.
Yeah.
It needs to be changed somehow, because I think it's just completely ridiculous.
It's exhausting it. Mm-hmm. I mean, killing it or anything. Even if we could kill it, I can at least understand it.
Yeah, I was discussing this with Mick, actually, because we were just talking about how we would change it if we could. If we put it, we're obviously going to put this to QA and stuff. But you either make it not target command zone, because that would fix it almost. If it doesn't target command zone, so you can't just sit there, you have to put something out. It's still powerful, because late game this could be really powerful, because you're still able to you could have unending drones, you could churn out massive creatures. If you had just one big creature, it could work quite easily. So there's that, or you put a cooldown on it. You put like a 2 to 3 turn cooldown on it, like Loic.
Yeah, I don't think a cooldown would affect it though. But
I think it would, because then it gives you a chance to deal with it. So you see this big 32, and you're like, right, I've got 3 turns to deal with this before it happens again. It is possible to deal with it that way, but every turn is relentless.
Yeah.
Every turn is relentless.
Exactly.
It turns unending drones into just beasts.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I think those are the changes.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think either of those changes would work properly personally. I don't know. The 3-turn one might work a little bit better, but not targeting commands, I question.
I understand
its value then. I don't think it would be as good then. I don't think it would be playable then. Personally.
No, I kind of agree with you on that. Like, I understand that. Like, I kind of want to stay away from restricting cards to command.
Yes.
Because I think that is a bad way to go in the long run. Because you don't want to restrict it. You don't really.
No.
Because if you just restricted everything, it's just like, the command zone's just there. You can see the cards, but you can't touch them, kind of thing. I understand they don't want to do that.
No. But it takes half the fun away from the game then.
Yeah, exactly. So
all deck creation would become half as boring. Become twice as boring, rather.
Agreed, yeah.
Yeah, nothing like that.
But it does need to change. It does need to change. Mm-hmm. It's a bit ridiculous right now.
Everybody all day has been like Grave rant about Landstead. A lot of people have been saying to talk about Landstead. It's shit. It's bad. So if enough people have told me, then Lightmare, listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth.
It needs to change. It's way too OP right now.
And we're not talking like change in 6 months either. That's
No.
okay. If anything from this discussion today, I think smaller changes for just 1 or 2 creatures or whatever cards in the game is better than just bulk, but every like 9 months.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Yeah, you want to do smaller because then it leaves the meta fresher all the time. It's always fresh. If you do consistent updates that are quick, it makes it all fresher. So yeah,
and it's easier work for them rather than concentrating on all these cards at the one big batch. It just seems easier.
Yeah, agreed. Okay then, so that's Lonstead. It needs to be changed. Luca, we talked a little bit about this earlier.
Okay.
Luca's change is good. Again, it should have happened a long time ago. Because like when
I have a question.
Go on then.
Has it gone far enough?
I think it's taken it down. It's taken it obviously down a notch. I think it's similar to the Demon of Fear, kind of. It's similar to Sackler.
It's playable, but it's taken the edge off.
It's taken it from a ridiculous card to a good card.
Yeah. Okay.
To a good, healthy card within the mare.
Yeah.
Potentially bring it down a little bit more. I don't know, but I think it's fine where it is. I think it's fine. It just makes it not as ridiculous as it was, because +4/+4 was insane.
Yes. Although I will say I think whoever had put the notes up, given the explanations for these card balance changes, I don't know whether they're wholly correct when they say that this nerfs it in draft and still keeps it as a constructed, like, really good constructed card. I think it's still good in both, and also it's still rule pauper, I think, quite a lot.
Oh no, yeah, of course. No,
I still think it's fine in all 3 formats.
It's still kind of where it was before, but it's just dropped down a bit.
Yeah.
That it's more healthy for the overall game, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a good start. I think I would try maybe 2 and then see where it goes from there.
I don't think 2 because Luca Ascended is 2.
Yeah, good point.
So I think 3 is fine. 3 is fine.
Fair enough then. Yeah, that's a good point.
But also, just a quick note on Luca Ascended. Luca Ascended in Overseer's Command is insane. It's so strong. Because obviously you can put this in a triple purity Overseer's deck.
Yeah. Wow.
It's insane. I've had this played against me, and I've almost been like They kind of build it up in the support zone. Their entire line of angels play it out like maybe turn 6 and just insta win. It's ridiculous. It's pretty damn crazy.
Cool.
So yeah, that's that.
Another change coming in from the new deck builder. I like it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so another one that probably people are hurt of, Karani.
I am. So I got a load of platinum ones ready to trade, juicy ones, and people were already thinking, "Oh, Karani's rubbish now." People were saying that before this patch. I mean, it's QQ flamey. I still thought she was fine, but
she's fine. I think Karani's fine.
Really? I don't know.
I understand. She kind of. The thing is, what Karani did was, and a lot of people have said this. They're saying like, okay, Warpath aren't viable now because Karani got nerfed.
That's what I keep hearing,
and that's the point of this nerf.
Yeah.
In my mind, anyway. Not necessarily in IW's mind, but in my mind. That they've nerfed this because everyone was like, okay, if I play Warpath, I play Triple Purity Karani, that's it, nothing else.
Yeah, that's true.
And in that respect, mind-wise, it's opened it up, I think.
Yeah.
Other people may not think this way at all, but that's just how I think. That it was needed a nerf. The previous nerf wasn't a nerf. For anyone who's watching, it wasn't a nerf. It was a sideways step.
Yeah,
it was just take their ability and just change it slightly, but it's still exactly the same. It was actually more powerful after that last nerf.
Yes.
Than it was prior to that. But the way it is now,
yeah,
I think it's fine. I think it's dealable early on if you put it in command. Yeah. It's still very strong. You still need to remember it's still got the same abilities. It's still extremely strong. People need to remember that. So
I just worry that literally that one turn is the difference maker between you being able to beat them down in that mid game and it toppling to being a little bit too late. That's
but you have to remember this was an extremely strong deck.
I think it was. It was powerful.
The triple Karani deck took Carnage to number 1.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
That's what it did. That's how strong it is.
And I do like the idea in one sense because, like you were saying, I don't like any deck having auto-include cards.
Yeah, exactly.
and triple Warpath, you would never not put her in.
Mm-hmm.
No, I couldn't think of a single deck where you wouldn't. So I'm glad of the change in one respect, but I don't know how they could have done it. Honestly, I don't understand how they could have done it any other way. So I appreciate it from that. But yeah, people are mourning the loss of triple Warpath right now, and
I think it's still really strong. It's still really strong.
I'm just going by what.
I think people are underestimating.
Rough estimate, probably 7 or 8. I'm worried that it's a bit of a fever thing as well. Like one person goes, "It's rubbish," then they tell their mate it's rubbish, and then by the end of the day, half the game says that it's awful when it's actually not.
I can understand that.
So, but yeah, right now it doesn't seem to be hot meta anymore, triple Warpath, because of this change. So,
but
interesting.
That's the thing. They've brought things down, and things are leveling out.
Yes.
Like before, it was just like this. Well, you can't see, but it's just it's up and down. Just with like some decks are ridiculous, the rest of them are just blur. But now it's brought some of those blur decks up, and it's brought some of the top decks down a bit. So it's the thinner that line gets, the better the game will get.
Yes.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Slightly minor change onto Rabbit.
Yeah. Okay.
It's still awesome. I use these in my Hermit decks, and they're actually good in my Hermit decks.
How is Hermit decks now?
Really good. I am honestly loving playing my Hermit deck. It's one of my new favorite decks.
I'm going to be paying my kids' way through college with my Defiant Hermits in Plat, then, am I?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Good, that's all right then. I'm going to be trading those bad boys for high value later on. So if anybody's in trade chat and they want to get ripped off, then speak to me.
No, but honestly, these Rabbits have a new lease of life because, I had 2 iterations of the Hermit deck. I had one which I'm using double Warpath, 1 Varroa. I think it works better that way because you just having access to the Scars and things like that. It's just you kind of need it, really. And obviously, you want more. The more beasts you have, the better because that's how it is. You obviously have the Elater in command to keep it alive, which that keeps it alive. And then the Brute as well. Because that just gets ridiculous. I think the highest one I've had so far is like 19.8 or something.
What?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Wow. But that's more of a scare tactic, I think, that command. But no, it works really well. I've made one deck which was just kind of a normal basic Rush Warpath deck, but with the Hermit.
Yeah.
But then the other one I made is more of a breeder deck with rabbits and stuff with haste, with drop bears and killaroos. And using those as your main creatures instead because of they get big pretty quick because of the Hermit. So
that's cool.
So you play out a drop bear for 2, but you don't enrage it, and then you play the Hermit instead for a couple of those. So you rage it later, and then it gets even bigger. So it's quite good.
Yeah,
it's quite good.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. You should definitely check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna use it.
Yeah. Okay, Saculus.
It's interesting. Yeah, it is Saculus next. Yeah, it is.
Yep.
I
think it's good. He was way too like I understand. It's not dealt with him entirely.
No, not at all.
I think he still needs to be dealt with.
Yeah.
But it's done something to him which I think is needed because giving him 2 purity makes him less splashable.
Yeah.
Which was the main issue, I think, honestly, because he was just you could put him in anything. You could put him in anything. No, you're not convinced.
No, just because his ability is really powerful, it's still not pure. Like if you go pure, if he's triple, then nothing else can be played with him. But you can still splash another faction with him, so you've got their advantages as well. And I think his ability is already really strong, and the fact that he's still an uncommon still makes him a draft superstar, a standard powerhouse. I just think it's made an OP card, maybe not quite as overpowered anymore.
Well, you think about the decks that it was in before, like it was basically you only took the splash for Saculus.
Yes,
you can't do that anymore. You have to commit to 2 purity.
That's true. That's very true.
Which I think suits Flame Dawn more. So double purity Flame Dawn may get played more. Like the double purity 1 Varroa decks may even come back because I used to play that deck a lot.
I like that.
The Calamity Firestarter deck. I love that deck. It was great, and that kind of stuff might come back because of this change. So I think it's great. I think it's good.
I think it's a good start. I just don't know. I'm going to say it. I think it might have been a lazy change. Maybe they could have thought a bit more. Although saying that from the balanced dev report, it seems that they have and did think about whether they go to town on the ability itself, so that at least they respect that was thought about. So maybe this is the correct move. But,
yeah, the thing is, a lot of people love Saculus for his ability.
Yeah. Part of me might put my tinfoil hat on though and say maybe they didn't nerf it as much because they knew there's a pretty effect coming in at the same time, but you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. But no, I think it's a step in the right direction for him.
Yeah,
I think he's okay.
I want to see where it's going. I want to see where he fits.
Because if they change his ability like completely,
it does change him a lot. I mean, you can't really mess with that in a marginal way. You pretty much have to strip the card or keep it, really, or nerf it to the ground by making it only one. So
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Okay, another one that a lot of people are complaining about, Varoria. One of the big changes.
I love it, but it's not great. Yeah, I love it, but I hate it. It's a love-hate relationship for me, this card, from what I'm seeing so far. Right, okay, so the simultaneous turn thing in Infinity Wars is great. This card panders that in another incredible way. Not only that, but I feel like it's thematic that Varroa are having to pay in life to gain some advantage. I think that's a really cool, interesting way of looking at it as well.
Yeah.
Playability-wise, if it wasn't for a combo or two I've heard about, I think it's already, it's pretty decent. I think it's pretty cool in the way that they do it. Probably balanced. I dare say balanced in that. Although the Jillan thing is really dumb.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen that combo played against me yet, but I've heard
it's
about it.
It's really annoying. Yeah. Oh my god, dude.
But the thing is that combo is obviously you have to pull the cards, and it's still dealable. One death ray can deal with Jillan, and that's it. You win.
Exactly.
Anyway, so
yeah, I think it's fine. People are saying it still needs nerfing.
I disagree.
I like it. I think it's a great
10
change.
health for one turn, so like, that's still goddamn strong.
Yeah, because by that point, if you're really worried, they're probably dealing way more than 10 to you every turn anyway, and it gives you a chance to stall for whatever Oblivion, Calamity kind of strategy you're doing anyway. So
it still does what the job Varroy did last time. I think what they tried to do is steer away from the old Varroy, because a lot of the time, I won a lot of games because of this card. Not because I played it, because my opponent played it and forgot about it and lost to morale.
Yes.
Like, it used to, if I saw someone play it, I'm like, okay, they played it way too early. I'm just going to defend and let the morale die, and then I'm going to win.
Yeah.
Straightforward, because they didn't have any follow-up afterwards. They played to stall, and that was it, and they had no follow-up. Yeah. But I think I think it's good. I think it's really cool. I think the ability and the way it works, and like kind of moving towards the more sacrifice effects and things like that with the acolyte and things like that. I think it's a good step in the right direction.
I do as well. Yeah, I like it a lot. I think it's great. The amount of games I've played so far, it's like, is he going to do it, or draw back this turn just because of the 10 health pop, and then that satisfying turn that you pull back, he death rays and also sacrifices 10 health, so he's rinsed the card and he's lost 10 health and he's done nothing for it. You're like, yes. Whereas old school Varroa, the no fun keep, wouldn't have allowed that. The old one.
Exactly.
So I like it. It's a good start. Might be too powerful still, but
I don't think it's too powerful.
Good. I don't either. I don't, but some people have said that to me, so just wanted to pass that one on anyway, just in case. There you go, guys. I have represented you.
Right. Roaring Hydra as well. I will say my piece on this, on the overall balance changes behind Varroa, because that's what's been... Varroa have been hit with the nerf armor this patch.
Yeah, they have.
What they've done is they've nerfed the mid-game creatures of Varroa.
Yes.
So, for Roaring Hydra, Demon of Fear, and the Lone Keep, which are all kind of mid-game cards that you want to play. The reason they've nerfed these is because Varroa has this huge toolbox that they can deal with pretty much most things in the game, and that's where their strength lies. And that's the fact that they could dominate anything. They were this control faction, but they had these amazing, some of the best in the game, mid-game creatures as well. And that was where they were slipping up. And that's why the nerf to Demon of Fear and Varroa and Hydra has come down, because they are amazing mid-game heroes, mid-game creatures. And bringing them down has brought the overall toolbox of Varroa. That Varroa are still incredibly powerful as a control faction. Yeah, they are still incredibly powerful as a control faction. That has not changed, but it's brought down some of their overall toolbox to make them more counterable to other players, because that's the problem everyone else is having, and they can't counter them. And Varroa can counter everything. Now they have less options for that.
Yes.
Because their mid-game characters have been nerfed. So overall, it's good.
Yes.
Very, very good in the right direction. You'll probably see a lot more of Oblivion decks now and stuff, and more actual control-oriented decks.
Yes.
Which is where they kind of should be.
Mm-hmm.
They're not fun to play against, but that's another thing.
Yes.
But that's where they kind of should be. So that's what they've done with this, and I think people need to remember that.
Yeah, I think so. Do you think they've gone far enough? For
the mid-game characters, yes.
Yeah, but I mean spells-wise, because they've
spells-wise is another balanced discussion.
I was going to say that it's interesting that other than the Dark Wish, it's interesting they didn't do much with the spells. I don't think they've gone far enough. Yes, but personally speaking,
yeah, because they haven't really touched the spells. Yeah,
I definitely think it's a great start though. Yeah, it's taken the edge off them for sure, but I'm still seeing Varroa constantly.
Oh, no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Varroa is still a very powerful faction and can still deal with a lot of stuff. This is just bringing them down a bit.
As my question mark to you, Nova, is are they still too powerful right now after this patch?
Generally, I think so, yes. But they have come down a lot, and you can counter them with more rushy decks. Now than you could before, because you couldn't before.
Yes.
As soon as you got to turn 5-6, you'd play a Varroan Hydra and then you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
But now you can. So rush decks are better against them. So like Overseers, Flame Dawn are going to be better suited to be killing Varroa.
Yeah. It seems like what's happened is they've taken away their mid-game creatures. People are going, oh shit, let's play Control Oblivion, and that makes it even more likely now that people can counter a rush deck. So maybe that's good. Maybe that's a good thing for the meta. But I think I could go further, but I like it definitely.
Yeah, I like it as well. It's definitely so. This one you've probably got some stuff to talk about. Virus.
That's cool. People have been saying all day, I haven't managed to. Bear in mind, guys, I've only played for the day, remember. I haven't had a chance to build a deck with Virus in yet. People have been saying, Grave, do it. What is it like?
Oh, man, it's so good.
Is it good?
Because I had a Virus Avarak deck before, and I've just tweaked it for this.
Yeah.
It's just it's with 2 Sleepers, 1 Warpath. It's like just a stall deck. It's got Fears, it's got Recalls, just a stall until you can play this and pump the resources. And oh my god, it's good. It doesn't break the game anymore. It's not called the Desig of Avarak anymore, which is what it was named pretty much. So no, it's good. It's really, really good now. It's incredibly powerful. It's so much fun when you play it. Oh, Grave?
I've not seen enough to make me go, oh, it's good enough. Yeah, but it's still great, still cool. I don't know whether it's going to make any ranked decks anytime soon, though.
No, but it's. I think they probably changed it because they couldn't fix the broken version.
That's what I was trying to get round to. Yeah, I think that's probably what they did, and it's a cool change. Don't get me wrong, but although saying that, it could be less potent. Because obviously, the longer you store the game, the less stuff that's in their deck, which is less stuff comes to you. But then again,
by turn, if you get the right ramp out, you can have this out by like turn 9, 10.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
it's good and it's fun and I like it, and it's again a lot of this phrase seems to be popping up to like step in the right direction should just be the tag to this stream. For today, because that's what it is, but it's not. But I suppose then again, I can't have every card being ranked standard playable.
Well, no, that's the thing with balance. You have to have bad cards. You have to have cards like Soldier of Fortune.
Yes.
That is a must. Like, you have to have bad cards and you have to have good cards. It's just when the cards get almost too bad, and almost too good. Those are where you slip up. You have to. Obviously, you're going to have better cards because otherwise, if every card was as good as every other card, it'd be shit.
It'd be really boring as well.
Exactly. Like that would never
happen.
happen.
About balance, but you have to have some kind of imbalance in any game. Imagine it in a numerical value out of 1 to 10. If everything's just between 4 and 6, it's not fun. It has to be between, there has to be a wider gap a little bit.
Yeah,
otherwise it's also bad for imagination and constructing new cards as well, because people are more afraid. It's really easy in games like, I wouldn't ever say this about Hearthstone, but in games like Hearthstone to balance it, because they've got way fewer cards and way less mechanics and stuff to think about and do than in this game. So
yeah, agreed. Okay, so that's pretty much all. There's one with Z Ascended, but all it did was just make tokens not removed from the game when killed now, which was, I don't think it was intended in the first place.
No.
But
no.
Yeah. So there you go. So overall,
yes,
this patch, opinions go.
Good. If we're talking about everything involving the patch, really, really good. Again, tagline step in the right direction. They've nerfed mid-game for all creatures. They've given a shiny new interface. They've done, and I want to actually talk about this one because I didn't get a chance to before. Obviously, being a member of the Infinite Network, obviously I'm going to talk about this anyway.
Yeah, no.
In general, I really think that beyond that, it's just a good sign of things to come when our site gets featured within the game, because I hope that it sets a precedent going forwards that they're going to focus on more community stuff for more people, because there's so many good people that do so much for this game, and there's so many pillars of the community for this game that if they weren't here, would not be very good for Infinity Wars. Do you know what I mean? And I think they don't ask for a great deal. Like, for example, I know there's a lot of QA people that work damn hard for this game and don't get the recognition they deserve. So hopefully this might be a way to do that. There's also people that do a lot of YouTube content and Twitch streaming like myself that really deserve a bit of loving, considering how much people do for free for the game. And it's not much to ask. So I think it's definitely a step in the right direction. They've really done well with that, and I hope they continue with that.
They need to take the next step as well. They like, if they just leave it at this step, because one thing I will say, like the communication, like they put like Elfie and stuff, and the other devs have been putting stuff on the forums for the first time, which is good, but they need to keep doing that. I don't think they've done it much since. I don't really check the forums as often as I should, but I don't think they've done it as much as they should have done since that. They need to post. They need to be very, very frequent with what they do. And obviously, with like Teramis's blog posting, that's great and that's fantastic.
Yeah,
and that stuff needs to happen more. And literally, like a step in the right direction. More communication needed.
Oh, always. I don't think. I've heard a phrase, I think, from Teramis that there's such a thing as too much communication. Maybe, but I'd rather too much than too little. Always.
It depends what you communicate.
Yeah, it's exactly. But like, I think the balanced dev report, for example, great idea.
Oh, yeah,
like, it's their thought process behind balancing, and that definitely helps us understand it as well. So
agreed. That was really good.
Great article for that as well. Really enjoyed that. So that's definitely the kind of thing that I want to see. I just want more of it. I'd like more emphasis on community stuff. And honestly, I'd like just generally more communication from Lightmail, which they're starting to do.
Yeah.
But they need to keep up with that Lightmail.
Yeah.
Exactly. You guys need to keep up with that, because you don't lose this momentum that you're gathering over the last few weeks after this rant situation. Don't lose that.
Yeah, because as I said, if they lose it, then it's going to hurt them more than anything.
Oh yeah, like I'm always skeptical, not just with Lightmare, not just because it's a Lightmare thing, with companies in general when they do and say these kinds of things. Talk is cheap, actions speak louder than words. So I'm always waiting for the next thing, not just going, great job for the last thing all the time, which I know is not necessarily the best thing. Should praise them because this patch is really good.
Oh, it is the best patch since Steam.
Yes, very much so.
Best thing since Steam, by a long shot. And honestly, in my honest opinion, it's given the whole game a new lease of life. Like at one point in my stream on Wednesday, I actually said it feels almost like a new game, because it's opened up all these new decks, all these new strategies. The balance has changed it, so it's opened up even more. And the whole new UI and everything, it's just made the game feel a lot more polished and just better for the whole part. So it's, I keep saying, a step in the right direction.
Exactly, it's a step in the right direction. To summarize, UI changed everything like that. The only thing is deck builder. I would like that to be a bit better.
But they'll tweak that. That's fine. That's
just
not
tweak
really
that.
a major issue.
Balance changes all around pretty much great, other than maybe Landstead, which needs sorting out, and a couple might need a tweak, but mainly, again, step in the right direction. Everything else has been great. Communication's great.
Yeah.
Everything. Or honestly, there's not much negative for me to say about this patch.
No, I agree with you.
I wish I could. I love ranting. I love telling people I shit. But they've done really well. They've done really, really good. They need to
I completely agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really, really good, and I hope they continue to do so.
Yes. Is that something for today, or?
Well, yeah. Well, they just need to keep doing what they're doing, and not do what they did before, which was not much.
They don't need to slip back into old habits.
Our perspective. Not that they weren't doing anything. I'm just saying that from our perspective. Yeah.
Like, I only found out recently that apparently they've been sorting out a load of back-end changes. I didn't know. Like, as a community member, I had zero idea of that for quite a long period of time. And I'm fortunate enough to know people that work for Lightmare. And I didn't ask them, granted, but like, I'm just saying, if I can't know that stuff, how is anybody else that's not?
Yeah, agreed.
Gonna know that?
I agree with
and obviously, it's never good to see a game just stagnant for 3 months and then be like, "Oh yeah, don't worry, guys, we've been working on back end changes." Well, okay, that's great, and I may have given you a bit more slack, but now I'm a bit angry because you didn't tell me, and I've spent the last 3 months stewing, being like, "Where's my new stuff?" So, and other things like, why are the XL card backs coming in now? Are we going into rant mode now? Let's go into rant mode. Why do the XL card backs take so long to come in?
The thing is, I wish they almost hadn't come in. Just because it's always been a thing of, when are the XL card backs coming? When are the XL card backs coming? Oh, when are the XL... It's just always been a thing, and it's just... I don't know.
Why?
Oh, well, they just finally brought it in. Just finally.
What was the hold up?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's an odd time to bring it in.
It's just been one of those things, though. Like, it's never coming in, and it like. But no, it's cool. It's pretty funny.
So, so where would you say then, in terms of like Infinity Wars? Let's discuss two major matters. What do Lightmen need to stay away from now going forward? And what do they need to do going forward now? Like, we're talking near future, not a year down the line. Like next couple of months. You know, if we assume for a second, because I mean the game's average and polished in the state it's in now. If we assume, I mean, like we said ages ago, and we've been saying for the last couple of months, that IGN article that Alpha you said the game might be being released at some point soon is still the case. How long until they move out of beta? What do they need to do, and what do they not need to do at this stage for you?
Personally, I think that they need to put Order on hold.
Okay. Yeah.
For a longer period of time. Then, like, I understand once the game's rolling, once the game's going, the 3-month cycle of new sets, that's great, that's good. Once the game's perfect and ready to go,
okay.
Yes, but not at the moment. I think other things need to come in. Not that they're obviously devoting other resources, because I know different people work on different things, so they're probably still going to be making cards anyway. But I think releasing them, needs to stay on hold.
Yes.
Until they bring in another feature. Be it ranked best of 3, be it spectator mode, be it something else.
Who is it? Is there one person that designs the cards then?
Yeah, it's Robbie.
It's just Robbie that designs the cards. Who does bugs? Who does bugs?
I don't know specifically.
Well, because they keep talking about how, like, I've heard this argument that it doesn't matter because there's a separate guy that works on that anyway. But
as far as I'm aware, Robbie works on the cards, and there's the 2 guys working on the bug fixes. Right. And apparently, it's not that much effort to get a card that he's made and just quickly put it in the game.
That's fine, but what it doesn't equate to is what the bugs that'll bring because of the new cards coming in and new interactions. That's the knock-on effect. Yeah. I understand that the new cards themselves being developed, that won't take much, but what happens afterwards is a big change. So I don't know whether I agree with that argument.
No, I get where you're coming from, but like I think they just need to bring in some other major feature.
Yes, tournament mode possibly. I mean, I know I respect
tournament mode, ranked best of 3 with sideboards. I think
sideboards now.
I think ranked best of 3 with sideboards would probably be the more logical and prioritizing thing to go for. Apart from the new trade window, of course.
Don't get me. Oh yeah. I've given up trading now. I just got sick of it. I can't be arsed waiting half an hour to do a trade anymore.
No, I know what you mean.
So that needs to happen.
Or something like spectator mode as well.
I understand that, although in their defense,
I understand
how long it will
because
take.
I've talked to David. It's going to take a hell of a long time to actually get spectator mode in it. The way
So I actually don't mind that. I think there's other priorities over that, and I've been ranting for wanting spectator mode as much as you for a long time. So I'm willing to wait for that one. So maybe those three things. Yeah, I think tournaments, trade window being fixed, and 3 games in sideboards, and then continuing the bug fixes. Is it releasable then?
If everything's working, polished and good, and they've got the best of 3 in sideboards in,
yeah,
and maybe a tournament mode or something like that, then yeah, I think it is for the most part. Because I understand they don't want to keep the beta tag forever, and obviously I understand why they're keeping it now, because of like mine and your rant and Ohaz's rant and the forums blowing up and everything like that. That I think
Which, by the way, I will say that I know that caused a lot of stress for Lightmare members, so I apologise for that. But then on the other hand, I feel like it was the lesser of 2 evils to get to the state you guys are at now, which is, I just think you guys have done so much incredible work since then.
Yeah,
so
agreed.
I would rather have done that and been a bit of an asshole to maybe get a better product and hopefully something that can keep their game afloat for a longer period of time.
Yeah, agreed. Because when I spoke to the higher ups personally, it was when I came out of that conversation, I was very, very, very positive about the whole thing, about them moving forward. And so,
yes,
they just need to keep it up. They just need to keep it up. That's it.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do need to keep it up. I, as of yet, have still not got QA access or API stuff. So even though I was told that I was going to, so hopefully they get Lightmare. If you're listening to watching this, sort me out. Help me in chat. I do get the Infinite Network sorted.
I'm sure they will.
I'm sure they will as well. Their communication has been a lot better as the most part. But then that's part of the stuff they need to avoid. I was going to go on to the avoids. Don't fall back into the old habit of not speaking to people about anything. I'd rather know that Teramis is scratching his head than not know that Teramis is scratching his head. I mean that not in a literal sense, but if there's a minor bug fix going on, I'd rather know about it than just fade into the background.
Yeah.
They have no idea how the smallest, okay, I'll give you an example that me and you discovered just before we came on stream. They changed either the card sizes marginally. I think it's something like that. The native resolution, I don't understand it. Basically, that's had a knock-on effect to our website that's massive. A huge, probably half a day's work for us now. And it wasn't even in the patch notes or told to anybody. I mean, yes, most people don't give a crap. I give a crap, though. I'd like to have known, you know what I mean? How long would it have taken to put in a sentence that said that?
Agreed, we all want to hear these little patch notes. However small it is, we want to hear it because...
And it also makes them sound like they're doing more, as well.
Not necessarily like they're not doing anything, but you know what I mean?
No, of course not.
It's because apparently they have been doing little patches every now and again into the game, and they've not released patch notes because they've been so little and stuff. Doesn't matter. Release them. Because people want to know what you're doing, what you guys are doing. That's the whole point of beta. People want to work with you. People want to help you make your game. So they want to know what's going on.
Completely agree. Yeah. Love it.
No, it's good. It's good. It's giving the game a whole new lease of life.
Yes.
This patch.
Yes. I think so.
But maybe we should talk a bit about what happened on the forums.
Yeah, go on then.
You want to go?
So much.
You want to go first? Yeah, there is a bit too much. We won't go too much detail into it, I don't think.
Yes. I just want to say that in general, I'm glad that it happens. Maybe not so much in the way that it happens, but as people know, I basically thumbs up IHAZ to talk about it. He sent that post, then Nova went on his stream and talked about it and blew it up, and it just went from there basically. And then everybody put in their 2 cents. But what was great is that what Lightmare respected and what people should respect is that people rallied behind the game completely to be like, look, guys, this is crap.
Yeah, that was the bottom line.
You need to pick up your game, but we're here to tell you that rather than just go away and leave you to for the game to die. That's a great sign. They and again, it's this community that I'm talking about. Again, they really need to just harness this community as much as they can, because it's a damn good community.
As I keep saying, it is the best community I've ever been a part of in a game. Ever.
Completely. Me and you would not spend our nights just doing this
for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. No, there's a reason, and it's everybody else, and it's passion that this game brings out in people.
So but for no one who's seen my stream and stuff, like, I do apologize for some of the stuff I said because it was a bit harsh for the most part. I was the very, very grumpy old man that day, regards to that. But as Grave said, it's had a good effect for what it has. And the whole bottom line of everything I said and everything that everyone else said on the forums, it's what we want the game. It's because we love this game that we love to play, that we spend thousands of hours on.
And hundreds of pounds.
That we want, not necessarily because we've invested the money in it, because we enjoy playing it.
Yes.
That's what we want to succeed. That's why this whole thing happened, and that's why everything. That's the bottom line.
Yes.
And good stuff has come from it. I mean, look at this new patch.
Yeah.
They seem to be listening to us more. They're communicating more. So keep it up, guys.
Yeah, very much so. Just keep it up. Hopefully that community tab just expands and has more of them in future as well.
Agreed. Yeah.
Maybe a community spotlight where they update you with YouTube videos more consistently that aren't just put out by the official game every 4 months. This is a long shot, and I know you've spoken about this, Nova, but maybe even do streams themselves more often, or even I don't speak for you, but I speak for myself when I say I'd be quite happy to stream on the official game channel at some point for them if they want that to be done. To keep exposure for the game going, I'm very happy to do that, and I know other community members would as well.
Well, you look at games like Smite.
More active. Yeah.
You look at games like Smite. They've got their channel is running 24/7 with people in it, devs in it, everything.
I'm still convinced that Smite would have died had it not been for the 24-hour Twitch thing. I still think that it would still been a good game, but I don't think it would have kicked off in the way that it has, because it's just brought its whole community behind it, and it's 24-hour TV. I've spent hundreds of hours watching Smite TV, and I just love the idea. I mean, I know we probably don't have the resources for like a 24-hour video wars TV. I just love the idea of that.
But at least it's a small stream every day.
Yeah, but just a little stream every day.
Every other day, even just once, twice a week.
Yeah, even once a week is more than what's going on right now. So it shows activity from them and from us as well. And you could do spotlights for the community on there. If Teramis came on and was like, "Hey, well, this cool piece of fan art is coming from so and so." You could have an hour dedicated to that, or 10 minutes. Whatever.
Yeah,
it's still showing that they love their community and they're keeping an eye out, because it's easy for, I don't know, say Alfie or someone to go on and just say, "Yeah, we are looking, we are watching," but unless you. It's nice to see that as well, You've
got to back it up.
Exactly. Completely.
You've got to back it up with your actions.
And that's what they're starting to do.
They are.
They are starting to do. Just continue.
So overall, Infinity Wars is looking a lot healthier now. A lot healthier than it was 3-4 weeks ago.
Very much so. A lot healthier. It's close to... It can't be. I have zero idea whether it's being released tomorrow or in 6 months. Years time. It's not far off those changes, and I think it could be released.
People
could argue with me. I know people have different expectations. People could say, "No, Grave, you're wrong. It's a year away from release. They need this, and this." Yes, every game could always use more features, but you've got to draw a line in the sand somewhere and say this is releasable. So,
you have to think as well that potentially they need to release it because of financial reasons as well. So, and I don't think people realize that who are not in the games industry.
Yes.
That sometimes you have to, regardless of whether you like to, which I can completely understand if that's the case. So,
yeah, really, really good.
All right then, is it pretty much? I think we pretty much covered everything there that we wanted to.
I think we have as well. No, I think we're fine for today. I think.
Yeah. So, what have you got planned for the next week regarding Infinity Wars and just general stuff?
Honestly, it's just cracking on, finding out the metas, seeing if there's any new ones. Fuck the old metas. I'm bored. I've already seen a few old metas creeping in, like morale decks are still a thing. Don't like that crap. I hope that stuff goes away. I like new, innovative, different decks, and I'm hoping that this breeds that, and I'm just going to be pissing around with it and seeing what I can find out from people and see what decks are hot, what's not. Just seeing what waves these new changes have caused. So that's pretty much what I'm up to with viewers, and sorting at the Infinite Network. Which, on that note, I do want to say to people, obviously it's been exposed in game now, so we know our traffic will be higher than normal. Just as a quick statement, I've already said it on the main page anyway, but I'll say it again to anyone very quickly. We are updating cards, and we are updating the deck builder. We didn't know about many of these changes because we didn't know in advance, because we weren't told. So we don't have access to QA, so we can't sort these things out very fast. Plus, obviously, personal circumstances for both me and Chapman were the case. So we will be updating it. I think by this time next weekend, we'll have a big patch with not only updated images and deck builder, possibly. I'm not sure if I want to promise that one, but also there's some other fun surprises that you guys new
fun
features.
surprises.
Yes, there's an exclusive there for you guys. There's going to be some big surprises coming in the next patch over the next week.
Big surprises, guys. Awesome. All right, guys. So, thank you very much. This has been the podcast. Apologies for only just being me and Grave. I hope you don't not bored of both our faces and miss DeathStar too much. He'll be back next week, and hopefully we should have a guest next time as well.
Yes.
There's a couple of guys I really want to get. I'm not going to say because I don't want to say and then not get them on and get you guys too excited. But there's a couple of guys I really want on as well. So, hopefully that should happen in the next couple of weeks. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. We will be starting doing this regularly again every 2 weeks. So apologies again for the long wait for this one. And there probably should have been a couple more in between, but it's okay.
Yes. We're here. We're back. Yeah, we're back.
Minus DeathStar.
Yeah, minus
He's back next week, though, don't worry. So, yeah, thank you very much, guys, for watching. Really appreciate it. Make sure you can follow both mine and Grave's streams. Also, go on the Infinite Network. I'll put all the relevant links below. Please go and follow them. Check out our streams if you want to know more. And also, just check out the Infinite Network. It's just good. It's really good. A very good resource.
Yeah.
It's in the game, for God's sake. I mean, come on.
It is. It's great for
really
anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. All right, so thank you very much, guys, from me and Grave, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.